Hello, my name is Ashley Zizzo, and I've always been highly interested in the dream process. So when we had to pick a topic for this project, I knew immediately what I wanted to do. Today, I want to tell you about the various theories on why people dream. While there are many theories, I'm going to focus on just three of them, which are the cognitive theory, the activation synthesis theory, and the Freudian perspective. The first theory I will be sharing with you today is the cognitive theory of dreaming. However, first it is important to define a dream. A dream is generally a visual phenomenon that contains a movie-like scenario with various scenes, characters, and images. The cognitive theory of dreaming believes that dreams are a medium for the physiological processes that are expressed in a form that we can understand. This theory also states that the content of dreams is personal in nature and are derived from our own experiences and perceptions of the world. According to this theory, dreams are hardly ever to do with anything regarding the political state of the world and more to do with our own personal interests and conflicts. Our dreams and their contents all depend on our own personalized conceptions of the world around us. Additionally, according to this theory, dreams are similar to a movie or play-like scenario. We can either be involved in the production as a character or simply an uninvolved observer. Sometimes we can even be both or switch roles throughout the dream. This theory also suggests that dreams reveal how we feel about our relationships with others. So, for example, if your friend lies to you in your dream, you may feel like they're hiding something from you in real life. Our dreams also reveal how we feel and conceptualize the world around us, as well as ourselves. However, when I say the world around us, I mean our own personal environment and not the events of the world itself. For example, the boy in this photo is up in the air and watching hot air balloons pass by him as he's stuck on the moon. One interpretation of this environment is that he could feel like life is passing him by as he watches. As previously stated, the cognitive theory also says that dreams reflect our own self-image and concept. The way you see and perceive yourself in a dream is said to be how your subconscious views yourself or how you feel about going against certain struggles in life. So, if you dream about yourself leading an army into battle, you may see yourself as capable and strong. But if you dream about falling, you may feel like you don't have the means to control your life. This theory also proposes that the idea that our dreams reveal our inner conceptualizations about our impulses and inner and outer conflicts. Going back to the battle example from earlier, that situation could reveal that you feel like your life is a constant fight against various forces, or it could be maybe you have a desire or need to lead others and be in control. However, this is all up to the dreamer's interpretation. Overall, the cognitive theory believes that dreaming is the mind's way of projecting our personal conceptions of ourselves, others, our environment, and our impulses and conflicts into a form that we can properly understand. This theory determines that dreams have a purpose and are personal in nature and doesn't generally reflect any worldly conflict, only what is relevant to the life of the dreamer. The next model of dreaming that I'll be discussing is the activation synthesis model. This model, in contrast to the previous one, believes that dreams are a product of physiological processes and have no meaning. According to this model, dreams have 5 key characteristics. They tend to contain illogical content, intense emotions, acceptance of strange content, strange sensory experiences, and difficulty remembering dream content. The main part of the brain that is responsible for dreaming is the limbic system, which is responsible for emotions, sensations, and memories. The brainstem becomes active during REM sleep and in turn activates the limbic system. This causes random neurons to fire, and thus prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for higher thought and processing, is thought to be processing these random electrical signals in the hippocampus. This is a scan of an EEG on a person's brain. The left image is of a person who is not in REM sleep, and the right is of a person of who is. REM sleep is when all dreaming occurs. As you can see, the temporal lobes of the brain is much more active during REM sleep. The temporal lobe is where the limbic system is located. This disproves the previous notion that dreaming was a passive process. As previously stated, the limbic system gets activated during REM sleep, which is responsible for memory in addition to many other things. This part of the brain gets activated by the brainstem during REM sleep and starts firing. These erratic firing neurons in a section of the brain that controls memories and emotions are thought to be the reason why memories are often content in dreams. Since it's erratic firing, that explains why memories in dreams are often incomplete and fuse with one another. Overall, the main points of this model is that dreaming is nothing more than a physiological process, and that there isn't a meaning behind dreams, it's just the brain trying to make sense of active neurons during the REM sleep in the temporal lobes. The parts of the brain located in the temporal lobes are the limbic system, which is responsible for memory, emotions, and sensations. This could help explain Hobbes's 5 characteristics of dreaming, which were discussed earlier. The final theory I will be talking about today is the Freudian perspective. Freud, consistent with most of his contributions to psychology, believed that dreams were revealing unconscious desires, thoughts, wish fulfillment, and motivations. This theory is generally coined the wish fulfillment theory. Wish fulfillment is thought to be the subconscious trying to satisfy a repressed desire through an involuntary process. However, this fulfillment isn't always explicit. Often it is implicit and takes some interpretation to recognize. The repressed desire is often masked and is warped through the structure of the dream, and meaning isn't always apparent. This was Freud's justification for why dreams are random and confusing sometimes. Once again, as most things with Freud, his perspective involves the thought that issues stemming from distress and conflict in childhood result in distress in later life. Freud offered the thought that dreams were a product of repressed desires by the ego and superego from childhood-specific conflicts, although other wishes and desires from adulthood do pop up as well. He proposed that dreams are the subconscious's way of trying to bring to the forefront and solve the form of problems in dreams. Freud goes on to further say that children can most clearly demonstrate this wish fulfillment theory. He claims that these desires are formed by the denial of something and will then be acted out in the dream thereafter. So, for example, if a child is denied a toy that night in their dream, they could possibly dream about getting to play with said toy. Thus, their wish is being fulfilled. Overall, this theory proposes that dreams reveal the desires and wishes that the ego and superego repress through dreams. While these desires may not always be apparent, through analysis and interpretation they can emerge. These dreams allow the dreamer to fulfill something they aren't or weren't getting in their real life. Therefore, they must fulfill this desire through other means. In conclusion, the three different theories of dreaming that we discussed today were the cognitive theory, the activation synthesis model, and the wish fulfillment theory. All these theories had different explanations for why we dream. I found it very interesting and fun to learn about this topic, and while there is no way to prove one theory right or wrong, I still think it's cool to consider the implications of each theory. I hope everyone enjoyed and learned something new today about the process of dreaming and the different theories. Thanks for listening!